DreamWorks decided to open their masturbatory franchise Fly By with the 2022 instant classic that was The Bad Guys? Also, and for all time, The Boss Baby. Comcast times 2.
The ocean is a mysterious world.
Generation Funderation.
Even the ones you have imagined, you've imagined them wrong.
Narrator tells me to forget everything I think I know cliche, which is an extra bucket of hypocritical hilarity in a movie that wouldn't recognize an original story beat if Disney bludgeoned it to death with one.
The sea will always need a Kraken, and a Kraken will always answer the call.
Will that Kraken remove the microplastics and trash from the ocean? Because that's the sort of hero it really needs. R.I.P. Ocean Life. You are doomed. Ruby's curtains are pointlessly see-through. Her retainer water is perched on a stack of books, and her work area isn't ergonomically correct even for a creature with no skeleton. And another thing, her shark toy is lifted by bed bugs and moved across the bed between shots. This room is dumb. If this is Ruby's room, wouldn't it make more sense if this conveniently placed title card was on the outside of the door?
Junior prom is the sacred right of every human teenager.
This expositional dump is all about how important society thinks junior prom is, which is an outstanding waste of animation considering the next 20 minutes are dedicated to exactly the same bullshit.
I need to be there so that I can blend in.
If blending in is the goal, maybe start by hiding the ear fins.
Our family is not allowed in the ocean, ever.
A lot of these rules are just more specific variations of the don't touch the sea rule, and this one here is just a terrible pun. Also, and most importantly, dissing the Orinoco flow.
But the prom boat is on the water.
Why? Why would a school risk this? Junior high school kids almost die daily just by walking on a regular floor, let alone one that is floating on the water. Listen, the animation style in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was refreshingly unique and freaking gorgeous, but don't push your f***ing luck, DreamWorks. Putting your jelly legs on the table.
This is a make or break moment. I'm selling an entire development.
But Mom, you're
what? Already successful? Already good at your job? Passionate? Aggressively warrior-esque? And shouldn't have a party? This movie is so vague I genuinely have no idea what the writers intended me to assume. Also, does Ruby always have this clip ready to go at this exact place in case of expositional emergencies, or is it just when there's an audience to spoon feed?
She got us our dream home, and I'm not asking how.
Lady, they made an entire movie and a global recession about it. You should want to know how. I was going to applaud this Twitch-esque chat stream for being wholesome, but then the movie decided to go for a jab and implied that you have to live in a basement to enjoy streaming. That is not the case. There's just better soundproofing down here. I mean, down there. Also, for a family trying to blend into a quiet seaside town and use I'm Canadian as a cover-up for being blue and only having 3 fingers, they sure are showcasing their oddities to the entire f***ing world by streaming, aren't they?
Wow, you two are quite the power couple.
You think that's great? You're looking at the undefeated dodgeball champ.
Have these people just f***ing met? Why are they introducing their hobbies and passions to each other as if this is some sort of corporate ice-breaking exercise?
Ow! You're in love with him.
You each landed one.
Parenting eye for an eye style.
Humans don't know everything about the ocean.
Ruby's mom isn't wrong. The human that wrote this book knows so little about the ocean that they had to fill these pages with lorem ipsum.
Time to go.
With all that food on the table, holy shit, these Krakens have the power to instantly put all food back in the fridge and wash every dish.
Let's all have a very human day.
And nothing says totally natural and human like standing in a perfect line and posing to face an audience you shouldn't know is there.
She blue. I'm from Canada. Eh?
Oh, that totally makes sense.
This excuse is ridiculous bullshit. But fortunately for the Gilman family, everyone in this town is extremely Canada racist.
I've got my eye on you, Gilman girl.
Ruby does not immediately report this creepy old f***er to the authorities.
And what is the most liberated food out there? Guys, I'm talking fondue.
Is this movie attempting to be smart by saying melted cheese is the most liberated food? Does no one know that ice cream was illegal to eat in the streets until Clint Eastwood freed the sweet treat from the confines of Caramel's outdated laws? Now that is a story of edible liberation.
Once Margot was going with Kayla, Trevin said, oh well, should we just go together?
In a shocking story turn, all of Ruby's friends ditched their pledge to ditch prom, so Ruby can feel all the dejected feelings and eventually be peer pressured into disobeying her parents. These people are not your friends, Ruby. And movies should stop telling real-world kids that they are.
Unless there's a tragic accident.
Giving so few fucks about your movie that your side characters' entire backgrounds are just has colorful hair, likes to game, and is Wednesday Addams.
Enough with the fondue. We eat a lot of cheese.
Using a negative tone of voice while talking about the greatest thing to come out of the cow before the hamburger and Indiana Jones's whip. Also, one of the reasons I hate animated movies is that the most mundane idea is animated like it's being delivered by Jim Carrey's love child with Stretch Armstrong. Like, there's no reason that this comment about eating cheese should appear this dramatic.
This is prom, and I really want to be a part of it.
It's like Margot is forgetting that going to prom was not the plan until she had a date and then changed her mind. Changing her mind is fine, but acting like Ruby is the issue here is not.
will go to prom.
Step 1, you're going to need a promposal.
Also, for a group of people that seem to be designed to hate events like prom, they sure do readily embrace ridiculous traditions like prom posing. Prom posers. I could maybe give this part of the movie a pass, but it really seems like Ruby and friends enter this hallway, and this is not a dream sequence. This is apparently really happening, and that is scary. This kid is jumping out of a trash can disguised as a whale. Are there no limits in this universe? And where did they find the clean trash can in a junior high school?
Maybe I abandoned this whole ask your dream guy to prom thing.
Thing I've been asking coming-of-age movies to do since the 80s finally makes it into a movie, but is ultimately ignored. I refuse to believe the kids synchronize the direction of their locker arrows after every use. Kids. Ariel Lowe's ass is at eye level, and in the next shot, she's descending a path of woven arms from on high where absolutely no one would have been on eye level with her booty.
I spot little Mr. Skater Boy here.
His skateboard sank into the water. How did she know he was a skater? I mean, he is, but she couldn't have known that.
Now, I'm not much of a swimmer.
Yeah, she hates swimming so much that she manages to rescue Connor without getting a single droplet of water on her, and nobody thinks this is strange. No teacher immediately yells for her to get down from there in this scene.
All right, everyone. Show's over. Let's get back to class.
I mean, sure, that kid almost died and probably needs medical attention, but let's focus on the impromptu popularity production that just ended instead.
Oh, you've picked a great place to raise a kid.
She says before revealing that this house has a floating fireplace for the little one to play with and learn all about how skin heals after being branded. This closed library's doors are still unlocked. No one is crushed to death in this scene.
She's coming for me!
This guy's first instinct is to record himself rather than visual proof that a massive Kraken exists. No one is crushed to death in this scene either. I want to see death!
You were saying you wanted a built-in grill, and that is built in.
Oh man, I get to be grill master again?
We've been introduced to two adult men so far, both of whom can be characterized as liking to grill. I understand that Mom is focused on getting to her girl, but her eyes are on the road basically never during this sequence, and it's infuriating.
Grill?
Hey,
Are you okay?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
I just hit you with a car.
I guess Brill probably used some fishy instincts to find Agatha, but why did he decide to hide under a bunch of leaves and risk her finding him by way of a hideous car accident that could have killed her?
This is exactly why she wasn't supposed to go into the ocean.
Then why would you live next to it?
Brill would be Wetzelin at CinemaSins.
Do you remember when you found that whale on the beach?
You mean Clarence J. Whifferton?
How could I forget?
Probably because it's a stupid-ass nickname that the movie thinks is endearing through sheer randomness alone instead of trying to be legitimately funny or clever. Like Whale Smith, Oprah Winfrey, Salmon Hayek, Gilly Ray Cyfish, Alexander Herring, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes! I'm normal.
Fortunately, this transformation comes equipped with some sort of marsupial honor pocket so that all Ruby's clothes can be stored perfectly dry and then reapplied when she returns to normal size.
At least...
The Kraken!
Somehow Brill had a noisemaker and confetti at the ready, and I'm not sure anyone can trust a person who enters a home and finds these items within 12 seconds.
I turned into a giant Kraken, too.
What? What? You knew?
Yep, she knew all along and still decided to live by the sea. Look, lady, live by the sea if you have to, but the trade-off should be that you have to prepare your daughter for the fact that she will turn into a freaking kaiju in the extremely likely event that she will be wedded. How is she ever expecting to keep this secret from her? No matter how long you stare at these buttons and tell yourself if they are buttoned correctly it will fix the pattern, you will not find a way to fix the pattern.
If you stay on dry land, you'll stay small and on two legs.
Unless you're in a library, though, I guess. Or was that transformation an emotionally triggered release that Mom somehow knows nothing about? What are the rules? Explain to me how Ruby's globby fingers can precisely text anything on that tiny curved keyboard. And don't get me started on the widget installed on her phone that makes group texts appear as the background of the home screen.
Your body is going through changes. Think of it as blossoming.
Teenage girl who loves math dealing with a changing body, check. Transforming into a giant monster as a metaphor for said change, check. Oppressive mother who knew this was a possibility all along but didn't say anything, check. Yep, that's 3 totally original concepts that no movie in 2022 also dealt with, and I hear DreamWorks is changing its name to Disney Pixar next year. I struggle to believe even the most avid prom fan would have this generic-ass prom poster in their room, let alone Ruby, who's supposed to think it's a
post-colonial patriarchal construct. I can't keep waiting for answers.
I know we're going for the whole it's a sign here, but if these lamps are light sensitive, shouldn't the ones furthest away from town come on first because it's darker over there? There's really no reason a sign from beyond can't also be rooted in logic. Asking me to believe the gulls wouldn't have already eaten everything out of this trash clam.
There's no way I'm getting you out of the water now, is there? Well,
Follow me!
Uncle Buck decides to give up instead of singing Ruby a song about responsibility, or how she should just wait to be queen. Yes, it would have been another, hey, ripping off Disney sin, but what movie wouldn't benefit from 100% more Zazu?
Clarence J. Whifferton! I'm so glad you made it!
I told you before, that's not my name, asshole.
Uncle Brill! Being in the ocean is more wonderful than anything I could imagine.
Being a 15-year-old with an imagination this limited.
Welcome to the kingdom of the Kraken.
And then we're shown one underwhelming structure. Just one. So if it's only the women that turn into giant Kraken and the men all stay comparatively small, how do they, mingle tentacles? Or how big are those freaking eggs that the men have to, sprinkle? Earlier, I said this movie is a coming-of-age story, and now she's swimming in semen. And I didn't see that coming.
The women in our family have been gifted the mighty power to turn into giant Kraken.
How did that happen? What evolutionary advantage is there in being able to take on a loosely bipedal form in the event of a 15-year land-based temper tantrum? What's up with this floaty trophy room with defeated monsters? Are they dead and stuffed? Are they animatronic and sort of light up on cue and discount Ursula points to them? Are they here purely for us, the viewer, or storytelling prompts? It's the last one.
Mermaids are selfish, vain narcissists with mediocre hair.
Pot, meat, kettle much? Also, you don't have to say vain narcissists. Vanity is implied when you are a narcissist. Why does this kingdom have entire rooms dedicated to visual assists for this story?
All to play human.
Nearly giving involuntary laser eye surgery to your granddaughter before asking if she has a prescription.
You have laser eyes?
Well, it's electrically charged bioluminescence.
Yeah, that doesn't explain it half as much as the movie thinks it does.
You are not a human who turns into a Kraken. You're a Kraken hiding as a human.
Semantics.
You're just gonna let her go?
More importantly, let her go without an escort home. How are they assuming Ruby has a built-in GPS?
Bye, Clarence.
Still not my name, kid.
Kraken ahoy! Hi! Fly, me beauties!
Captain Ahab here is definitely being painted as the bad guy, but why? He's trying to rid the seas of a Kraken that he knows destroyed the library and has every reason to believe is a threat to the people of Oceanside. He is the good guy here, people.
Because I'm a mother flippin' mermaid.
But why does she have the ability to grow legs? Why is the ocean creating these so very oddly specific monstrosities?
Surprise! It's a bomb!
Ballsy cold open to the shareholders meeting that took place immediately after this movie's opening weekend somehow makes it into the script.
Bye, Mom.
Love you. Make good choices.
I always find it strange when a parent figure has a struggling kid and they opt to watch them walk away instead of going with them. Like, the mom could drive Ruby to school for some extra hang time, right? Your child just unexpectedly transformed into a giant monster and killed all her classmates beneath the weight of her glowy tentacles. This is the time to be present. Okay, so the death of her classmates part isn't exactly true, but it should be.
You need a Super Sea-Girl Ditch Day.
Okay. Let's do it.
It is mere hours after her grandmother told her about how evil mermaids are and how her own mother fought in a war against them. And yet Ruby is ready to ditch school and become besties with the first mermaid she meets. She isn't conflicted for even a second. This bread is fucking thick.
I need any able-bodied man, woman, or child to help crew my vessel.
Saying vessel with your tongue between your teeth. She sent her small child on a dangerous mission with a crazed captain? Okay, so the mom really is the villain in this movie. Brill survives this and the captain never questions it.
Show me how to use my powers.
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
It's time for a Rocky-esque training montage, which pulls double duty by being unoriginal and completely missing the point. The training montages are supposed to be about seeing the hero conquer adversity. It's hard to root for Ruby when we all know her dumbass is helping the villain.
How do you shut them off?
Not making the answer to that question step one of your laser eye lesson.
Freak from the deep shows up and I'm supposed to learn that?
You're Kraken hiding as a human.
Conveniently timed self-doubt spiral conveniently causes Ruby to literally spiral.
There once was a ship that put to sea.
Trying to trick-talk your young audience into liking your movie. No one sees the glowing dog thing return to life and lick the kid. What the f*** did Connor do wrong? You shot him in the face with a confetti cannon, caused him to nearly drown, ditched him for your new mermaid friend, and now you're straight up rejecting his calls? Ruby sucks. Inserting a crusted meat tube into someone's orifice without explicit consent.
I sacrificed everything to give you this fake life.
Expecting your child or anyone to be grateful for a sacrifice they didn't ask you to make.
I fight for my family.
Skip.
There is no Chelsea. I am Nerissa.
Surprise! Chelsea is evil. But holy gills, how did she come up with this plan so quickly? She either had all of this lined up and ready to go for the second Ruby fell in the water and made the call, or Ruby fell in the ocean and within seconds Chelsea came up with the secret identity and enrolled at the school so she could make friends with Ruby, all in time to claim credit for rescuing Connor.
I'm a flippin' mermaid.
Nerissa straight up stabs Ruby in the arm with the almighty weapon of mass destruction, and it doesn't even leave a puncture wound? What the f does this thing actually do? Why should I care that she has it? No one invited Connor to the prom, but he decided to come along and mope anyway. No one should feel sorry for him. He brought this on himself.
That's my wife!
What? But if she's, and you're her, that means...
He has a huge conch.
Lucky for me, mermaids don't age.
Unluckily for you, that won't stop me from saying how f***ing convenient that happens to be for the purposes of your make everyone think I'm my own daughter plan.
Well, I hope you both put up more of the fight than Ruby!
And then they cut away? Show me the battle!
What happened?
DreamWorks decided to animate everything underwater with basically no lighting, so it's impossible to enjoy. That's what.
I should have just gone home like she said. Gone back to hiding and stayed small.
What? No, Ruby. That's not what your mom meant.
That is exactly what her mom meant, and everyone would be better if Brill had died by harpoon earlier.
I may not know a lot about a lot, but I know my sister.
True, but you know very little about the woman she's become in the 15 years since you last saw her.
I could never understand why she chose to leave the ocean.
I've spent less than 80 minutes with you, dude, and I can already see why she left. Why is this party boat hanging out watching monsters fight in the ocean? The captain of this vessel, whom we were assured would save lives if needed in the PowerPoint presentation earlier, sure seemed to be dicking around now.
What is she doing?
Answering the call.
But that doesn't mean she has to answer it alone. Go help her out, you assholes. The movie made a mistake when it spent so much time bragging about laser eyes and then showed me a battle where Ruby is clearly saving the laser eyes for later, which is dumb. Blast the beast and end this horrible movie. Some of this beautiful animation deserves to be in a movie I don't hate.
Got us a little mermaid, Davy!
But she's still super powerful, right? The trident was a powerful weapon, sure, but she's still a giant kaiju of a beast, so why did she suddenly transform back into a tiny mermaid? And if we're saying the trident makes her Hulk out, then why the heck didn't she shrink when she lost the trident earlier?
I think you can still make the last dance.
After this horrible tragedy in which many people absolutely must have died, the dance is still going? What?
A mother knows best.
If there happens to be a single lesson I've accidentally learned from this movie, it's that that is by no means a sure thing. Now we're in the deep blue f***ity f*** did this dress come from?
Wait, Connor, are these quadratic derivative graphs?
Oh, something around here is derivative, but it ain't the graphs.
OMG, are you live streaming? Oh, my hair is terrible.
Now, Tia!
How many likes are we getting now?
This would have made sense if Nerissa was actually a vapid teenager, but she was pretending so she'd blend in, right? She's actually a grown-ass woman who's had her 15 years in the making plan foiled by a f***ing mathlete teenager. She should be furious right now. I'm sorry, but the admittedly classic reel-in-the-fish dance move seems somewhat insensitive given the species you're performing it with.
I'm taking dodgeball to a whole new level.
That's a misleading way of saying my lack of a skeleton gives me a massively unfair advantage over all the competition.
The ocean will always need a Kraken, and a Kraken will always answer the call.
Unless poor word of mouth results in no one coming to see their movie, in which case the call will kind of just get forgotten about.
I would have rather had a cat shit in my mouth than have eaten that any further.
Something about tentacles. Got it. On your mark, get set.
Wait! Not something about them, it's all about them. Wait!
As a Kraken who is barely pulling off this whole human thing, I need to be there so that I can blend in. And as a proud mathlete, I know that to find a potential solution, I have to evaluate the problem.
Ruby, you're a princess. Address the crowd.
I'm really no good at speech making. Normally, I get so nervous that I faint or run away, or sometimes I even get sick.
Is there a bar in this place, or are we in one of those religio cult towns?
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.